here I am with Todd, which is someone that started my coaching program about 3 months ago. Ask you a few questions quickly, and let's get to know him and see what kind of progress he made. So, Todd, give me just like a 1 minute introduction of yourself for 30 seconds, like.
Well, my name is Todd, and I am a retired 70-year-old who's got tinnitus really bad, and I decided to try Guy's 3-month course.
And describe to us how was life before we started to work together? What caused your tinnitus to spike, or how interruptive was it for you?
Well, I noticed a couple of years ago my tinnitus started getting worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't concentrate on many things in my life. And my sister heard about Guy. She told me about him, and I checked out some things online with him. And I decided to take his 3-month course. And I learned something new every week. We'd review, then we'd go on to something new. And at first, it didn't do a lot, but then all of a sudden, it finally kicked in, and it kicked in really well. And you got to work it. You can't just think it's going to work. You have to work the system. The many methods require you to do them, follow them in a certain order. And I couldn't believe what it did for my tinnitus. And I've had a couple spikes because of stress at home, but I can't believe how much better it is. And I attribute every bit of that to Guy because his methods do work. So I'm very glad I decided to take that 3-month course he offers.
So concentration was a problem for you, and then how about communication with people? What tinnitus interrupted you before, like as you were trying to communicate with people?
Oh, without a doubt. When I was in a crowded situation, it would kick in even higher. You'd be there's like crowd noise
Yeah.
around you. If I go out to dinner and there's a lot of noise and I'm trying to talk to my wife, and all of a sudden the tinnitus kicks in even more. And I do have a slight hearing loss and I do wear hearing aids. And it seemed like they weren't helping. And all of a sudden you just start following those methods and you can have a conversation. It just, you do the work that you're taught by Guy, and it works, and it really helps. There's still times my wife will go say something and I'll go, "What?" Probably 3 or 4 times, but it does work. And I don't think I've complained maybe twice in 3 months about my tinnitus to my wife, and I'd complain a lot more. So it definitely works. It worked for me, and it takes work.
You even took the tinnitus handicap inventory at one point, right? And you went from one score, like before we started to work together, and then to a different score now, recently, right? Do you remember what
I
was the
know that
pro?
I rated myself up at 8 or 9 with a scale of 1 to 10, you said, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. When I started, I was 8 and 9 at all
Oh,
times,
wow.
not just part time, all the time. And when I first started this course, I noticed it was switching, but not in every facet of my life. And it all of a sudden it kicked in because I was following methods, and I'd swear it went down to 2, 3. And
Ah,
I've
that's
had
amazing.
I've had 2 bad weeks of spikes only because what's going on at home, and you have to expect spikes. You can't get depressed with them. You just go with it. You review your course that you've learned, and it did it. It did the work.
That's amazing transformation. One thing that I see all the time, and you probably see when you speak to other people that suffer from tinnitus, that I think when I speak to people that have tinnitus, they tell me, okay, you're a tinnitus coach, you're already habituated and you made your progress, but you just went through this. So if there was a message that you would give to people that are struggling with tinnitus right now, they are really having hard time concentrating or sleeping or dealing with spikes, and they think, they feel pretty hopeless, right? So what, I mean, both of us were in a place where tinnitus was so overwhelming. I know for me for sure, and for you too. So what really short message you can give those people that are struggling right now?
Well, the message I'll give you is if you have doubts about whether this works or not, it does work. You have to do the work and train yourself. It's just like exercising. Your muscles don't grow because you went to a class. They grow because once you're done with your class, you continue it. Well, this continues that way with you when you practice the methods, and it works. It takes some willpower, but anybody can do it if they put their mind to it. And I highly recommend it. It did the job for me. And not only that, but some of the methods that Guy uses, I noticed. I use them for relaxation. So this not only helps your tinnitus, it can help you with stress in your life and everything. And it's does double duty, which boy, that's a win-win.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything that we do affects not just tinnitus, it helps your general health and your brain health and everything. Hey, Todd, thank you so much for your feedback. I think the message for everyone that is struggling has to be that there is hope and you can get better and you can get relief, lasting relief, and you just need to take care of yourself and take the leap and start taking care of yourself. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's been more than a pleasure to work with you, man. I mean, I swear, it's been so nice. And that's why I really hope that we stay in touch.
I'll have
And
no problem, and I don't have any problem of keeping contact with you. You did me a great service. I just hope people realize, it's doable. It really is. And
yeah,
I'll never forget what I learned, and I will go over it again and again and again because sometimes you forget your moves that you got to do. And Guy reminded me of that while I did it. And I can't thank him enough. And I met a friend
yeah,
too.
thank you.
Met a friend. It was not only an instructor, it was a friend, and he was very easygoing, very easy to learn from. So thank you, Guy.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. I swear it's been a pleasure to work with you.